And today we're going to count down, and we're going to start our countdown, resume it, I should say, at 45. And that 45th player on the all-time Angels 60 on their 60th anniversary would be a man born as Charles Theodore Davis, but all of us would call him Chili. Chili Davis, the designated hitter, came to the team after spending 7 seasons in San Francisco with the Giants, joined the Angels as a major free agent signing in December of 1987. Stu Matthews, what do you remember about Chili Davis?
I remember him coming to, like you do. I was a fan during the time when he came, and of course with the Giants, he was a star. I mean, it was a big free agent signing. It was significant. Good player, good signing for the Angels, and with him, he ended up playing 2 stints with the Angels, and on his first stint, he showed production immediately. It was like it wasn't one of the Angels free agent signings that just tanked. Chili Davis was worth the money they paid him on the first stint, and actually for his entire career as an Angel. Raw athlete, he tried to play outfield. Raw athlete, tons of power, and really a reliable bat. And a good guy, just a good guy. Of course, born in Kingston, Jamaica, and right. He's a godfather to Devon White's daughter, which is interesting because for the time there, the Angels had Devon White and Chili. They had 2 Jamaican-born players on the team at the same time, which is interesting. But he was a star, and he produced for the Angels. Hit 27 homers in 1993. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting time for the Angels. A lot of the players, some of them we've already named on this list, that kind of came in the early 80s. There were a lot of veterans. The Reggie Jacksons were being brought in, the Fred Lynns, the Don Baylors had come and gone. And it seemed like there was a lot of money invested by Gene Autry and the front office in the early part of the decade. And what was funny going back and researching his signing, it was a 1-year, $810,000 deal. And that was a big deal at the time for a free agent. And it ended a drought of major free agent signings. The last major free agent signing the Angels had prior to that, according to what I was reading at the time, I think it was a Sporting News article, was Frank LaCorte in 1983. That was how long they'd gone. It was almost 4 years. You think about how upset us as fans get by Perry Manassian only getting guys on 1 year's deals. The Angels weren't even doing that for like a 4-year period, and they transitioned in, as you said, guys. The guys that kind of went with the farm players. They brought up Pettis, Schofield, Devon White, as you mentioned. Mark McLemore was coming up. And Jack Howell had kind of taken over at third base. And you saw kind of this change. And so, yeah, Chili was a big part of that. Throwing him in that order with guys like Wally Joyner and Johnny Ray really gave a middle of the order presence. And, of course, he played 7 years in the National League. So he was a left fielder, right fielder. I think he played some center field there. So when he came to the Angels, I think he played left field the first part of his career there. I think we probably had Brian Downing, some other guys beginning the DH at that time. And then they re-signed him. He played 4 more years on that first time with the Angels. And he kind of converted himself. He kind of became a DH during that time. And the interesting thing you said, I thought was interesting, Stu, was he had 2 stints. So he left in 91. And he left to the right time, the right team, because he ended up going to the Minnesota Twins, and he won a World Series that first year away from the Angels. So then he got that out of his system. He was able to come back. Unfortunately, didn't bring that World Series winning back, but he was, I think, even the second time when he came back, he was even more productive in a lot of ways as a full-time designated hitter. I was looking at he came back. He hit 27 home runs and a career best 112 RBIs that first season back. And then he made the All-Star team that year, 94. And then 95, he had a career high 318. And at the end of his career with the Angels, 279 average, 156 home runs, 618 RBIs. It's a real impressive career for a switch hitting designated hitter in Chili Davis.
And it's strange, because in high school, he played at Dorsey High School in downtown Los Angeles. He was 10 years old when he came over from Jamaica and didn't know a thing about baseball, didn't know who Babe Ruth was or anything like that. He was 10 years old and he got into the LA school system. Dorsey High is in downtown LA, and there's not a lot of, he actually said that baseball saved him perhaps he was a rebellious kid, he said, and that perhaps he would have ended up getting into a gang or getting into drugs. Baseball saved him from that. And of course, in high school, he was such a raw athlete and so powerful. He was playing catcher in high school. He was a catcher and a first baseman at Dorsey High School. And, then ends up as an outfielder in the major leagues, ends up as a switch hitter. He only batted from the right side, even when he got in a Pro Bowl. So here's a guy who really, baseball turned him into what he was. There's still some shots of him playing cricket, like stories you hear of Chili Davis growing up in Jamaica, playing cricket as a little boy. And he still plays that a little bit now and then when he goes back out to the islands in the Caribbean, plays cricket from time to time. And he's trying to improve baseball in retirement. He's trying to improve baseball in Jamaica. I think it's a wonderful thing that these, retired players do, is to help produce, to develop players over there, change them from cricket players into baseball players, get the fields improved, improve the coaching and all that. Because you see players come out of Curacao right now, Andrelton Simmons and Xander Bogaerts, and you can start naming them. Jonathan Scope are coming from an island country called Curacao, but there's not been that many Jamaicans, and a lot of talent there. You look at Usain Bolt. What if he would have played baseball? So that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, and and he's had a good career recently as a hitting coach. He was, I think, Joe Madden's hitting coach at the Cubs just a few years ago. So he's still in the game. He's still making an impact. And after that last stint with the Angels, I think he went to the Yankees during their pennant run, had some time with those clubs with Jeter and O'Neill and sorts. So great ball player, 45th on our list.
I was just going to hit you with some trivia.
You got trivia on Chili Davis?
You ready for some trivia?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. He's seventh all time in Major League history for home runs by a switch hitter. That's a lot. Seventh is pretty good all time. Homers by a switch hitter. I'm just gonna see if you can just pin a number on how many times Chili Davis hit a home run from both sides of the plate in the same game.
Wow.
It's actually, just take a stab, throw a dart.
I'm guessing he probably hit about 300 to 350 maybe 300 in his career. So I would guess maybe he had 5 games where he did that.
Actually, 11.
11 games.
11.
That's impressive. Wow.
From each side, and then right, and he got into switch hitting in the instructional league with the Giants organization. He was a right-handed hitter only, and he just said to his coaches, look, man, I'm having trouble hitting the slider. When a right-handed pitcher throws me a slider, man, I'm and they said, hey, why not try that from the left side? And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he hit a lot of bombs from both sides. He played most of his games against right-handed pitching, as a major leaguer.
Yeah, so he batted from the left side, and he was pretty equal to challenge both sides of the plate, from what I remember. And as a fan, I always loved seeing him. I hated seeing him go. Both times he left the team, because he was just someone you could count on in the middle of that order. And I think that, like I said, that second stint, I think he was a more well-rounded hitter. he really came into his own as his career progressed. He became a better hitter, I think, with age. Honed his craft, and yeah, you hate to see him go when he did.
He got traded as well to the Royals, I believe it was, for a man that a lot of younger listeners to your podcast would definitely know.
Mark Gubicza, the voice, one of the voices of the Angels, right?
Yeah, Gooby was what came to the Angels' way in a trade for Chili Davis. So neat guy, great personality. I don't know why he's rated so low on this list, but I imagine you're going to tell everybody at the end.
Yeah, 45 is not low. I mean, I think it's pretty good rating. He's 45 on this list, but yeah. I think what hurt him probably with the formula was not being on the Angels during a playoff period. It was a playoff drought, so he didn't get those postseason credits that a lot of these players on this list are getting, and that would be I'm sure one of the reasons he's probably higher on this list than he should be. So